Hi there, and thank you for clicking on my video. So the topic of hemorrhage and internal bleeding. Two mods that do essentially the same thing, one for pistol, one for primary. On impact status effect, have 35% chance to apply a slash status, 2x when fire rate is below 2.5. So what this means is that if your weapon triggers impact, and it has a fire rate below 2.5, it has a 70% chance to apply the slash status. If it's if it's above 2.5, it has a 35% chance. So naturally, this weapon would heavily benefit weapons with forced impact. And I pulled up the list of what they are. So on primary, we're just going to take a look at what they have available. So we have the lens with a direct hit, queller, alt fire within 18 meters, Stalta on direct hit, Nagantaka, I'm pretty sure it has a guaranteed impact proc, and there's a prime for this. The fire rate is 2.5. Let's see what the prime is. Alright, fire rate is 2.5. Let's see, we'll check real quick. It doesn't say for that. The Nadaruk, the new warbow, on quick shot is a guaranteed impact. Fulman within 9 meters. Plasmor within 28. Still a prime on a direct hit. Exceltra on a direct hit. And the Daiku, I think, is, yeah, just permanent impact. So how you abuse this? Oh, also there's the secondary. All of these are pretty good. This one's super low though. The Epitaph is really good with it. Zacti can make some use to it, but the attack speed's kind of high. Yeah, the fire rate's 5. You'd need a nasty Riven for it. The Zymos, I forget what yeah, it's got a low enough fire rate. It could make use of it, but the crit chance is super low, which Slash benefits heavily from. So the Epitaph will try them both out. So they both do the same thing. They both revolve around the 2.5 fire rate. So if you have something that's 2.4 fire rate, it has a 70% chance on impact status effect. The impact status being applied has a 70% chance to apply slash dots. But if it's 2.6 or 2.5, then it's 35%. But unlike Hunter Munitions, where Hunter Munitions triggers on a crit, hemorrhage and internal bleeding are dependent on the impact status itself proccing. So you need to have a weapon, and that's why people do guaranteed impact. So let's take a look at the Stalta. I actually like this weapon. So it's the alt fire. The alt fire speed is 1.6, so we're good. Internal bleeding. Multi-shot. That dude. Let's do that. And we're just going to do a standard crit build. And what else we got? Oh, crit damage. Excellent. Alright, this is just to sort of showcase it. Oh, and this also. Hold on. We need viral. Okay, we got a nice fat viral AoE. We have a forced impact direct damage main hit. We got our faction damage. So crit chance, crit damage, multi-shot, base damage, additional base damage plus status effect, faction, and internal bleeding. So what you need for internal bleeding to really pop off is really high base damage, really high crit, and a forced impact proc. And I'll show you this weapon and I'll show you another one that use it exceptionally well. And also we have Ash for the boosted slash procs. See how there's the 8k? Now 38. $157. That guy died in one hit. 237 slash. Died in one. Died from the AoE. But you see how the impact almost forces a slash proc every time. Now let me show you one of the... Oh god, how do I spell this? This one. This weapon uses internal bleeding incredibly well. So we're gonna do our build. Crit. More crit damage. Base damage. That goes there. Alright. So we got base damage, status chance and base damage, damage and crit chance, viral, crit chance. Oh, I'm forgetting crit. Alright, let's get rid of that. Alright. I forget what I had in there. Whatever. So we look. This weapon has a forced impact, and you can Google it on the wiki. It has less than 2.5 fire rate. It has a shit ton of crit chance, a shit ton of crit damage, and everything else is whatever. So let's see how it does. Oh, I already got some enemies. See the impact? This mod allows you to absolutely dive in to slash damage and absolutely own it. Yes, that was a 3 million slash proc. So instead of having to deal with the status effect issue, what this allows you to do is skip the RNG because you have guaranteed forced procs of impact. The same way a heavy weapon or a melee with a heavy attack has forced slash. You use these weapons who have forced impact to guarantee the impact. And because of how high their base damage is. Like, I was just hitting those guys for 3.4 million. 600k. 800k. It allows you to skip it and just RNG the 70% on the forced impact. So instead of having to wait an RNG impact procs and then get like 30% on top of it for slash, you have an impact proc every time and you can just murder with a slash tick. So what was the other one? The epitaph? A hemorrhage build as well. The thing we're going to be using is this needs a direct hit. So you use the charge shot. I just got heat on it to boost the damage. There. So how we're going to be using this is I actually have a multi-shot crit chance magazine ribbon with minus zoom. Just a little bit of everything that this needs. And I am going to attempt a headshot. And the heat's just to get the raw damage up a little bit. I could take it off for the slash. But this has a forced impact on it. And because the attack speed is less than 2, so it's 2.4 to start with. And because I have lethal torrent, the fire rate's 1.5, which is well below the 2. That doubles the slash proc chance on an impact. So every time I fire this, I'm going to have a 70% chance to proc a slash proc. Right, so 52. It's slow and brutally hard hitting. To be honest, in the game, I'm not even sure what you would use this on. So I'm sitting here just doing 1 mil ticks. Actually, let me equip in a dumb list. So that's a dumb list because of the slash procs and the high crit. So it builds. The only thing I could possibly think where you would need a slash proc this high would maybe be like a level cap run. And that's with like 90% damage reduction. But that's the gist of it. Find a weapon that's forced impact. Have it chug along. And abuse the hell out of it. Primaries and secondaries. Anything that fires fast. Or has like a wonky... alt fire direct hit. You're not trying to hit with the direct hit. You're trying to hit with the AoE. Same with the Ogress. Lens, maybe if you wanted, but it wouldn't apply to the AoE. Stalta, it'll apply the galvanized adaptation to it, but not to the AoE. Oh, the other build, the Fullman. This is the one people were running around using. Let's see. So same thing as before. Fire rate's 1.7 on semi, which is what we're going to use. This is the one that has the guaranteed impact proc. With a low enough fire rate, but it also has really high alpha damage. So we're going to use this to boost our damage more. And guarantee the impact proc, which will, at least at a minimum, give us a super high chance to get the slash proc. So it'll be 70%, and it's just max and slash. But it's a slower way of playing, right? So 45k. You got to be within 90 meters, or 9 meters though. So that was a 4 slash. $230k. 346. 240. 500k. 850, 770, 1 mil, 800k, 1.4 mil, 1 mil, 700k, 1.4 mil, quarter mil, 1 mil. So that's the general gist of it. In order to maximize the use of hemorrhage and internal bleeding, you want a slow firing weapon, and you're gonna swap total DPS and having like a high fire rate, like boosting the fire rate. You want a 2.4 fire rate and nothing more, because as soon as you go to 2.5, you lose half your slash proc chance on impact. But the benefit is you can absolutely min-max. It basically frees up 2 slots. You can absolutely min-max the slash procs. And almost all of these weapons are guaranteed to proc galvanized adaptation, or whatever the bonus damage to the galvanized mod is. So like even Arca Plasmor, 28 meters, does hella damage, especially when the impact proc forces. So it's just how it works. But yeah, lots of damage. You can absolutely dump stat a bunch of stuff. But it's the easiest way to get huge slash procs. I'm just not sure how useful it is. Generally you want shred, generally you want fire rate. But it's hard to beat a 4 mil slash proc. It is incredibly hard to beat that when you can auto something and literally like snap your fingers and they're just dead. So there are ways to exploit it further. Like obviously I'm on Ash, helping those slash procs out. But it's good damage, at least. It's a less active playstyle for sure, because you're basically going to one tap everything as you run through the mission. So food for thought. Hope you all have a blessed day. I hope it helps.